TravelWise with Phil Blizzard. News, views and interviews.
Hello, I'm Phil Blizzard in Dubai with TravelWise, and this time is very much an interview special as we take a look at the Seychelles and adventure tourism. That's going to be after the latest aviation news, which is coming your way right now.
TravelWise. Aviation news flown in by Seawings Seaplane Tours. See Dubai as never before.
Aviation news from flydubai, Emirates airline. We're looking at Turkey, flights from the UAE to Turkey. Seawings have a nice resident offer. We've also got news on Oman, and further afield, a travel corridor between New Zealand and Australia. But we start with flydubai, and they're going to be the first UAE airline to fly directly from the UAE, from Dubai in fact, to the capital of the Chechen Republic, Grozny. They commence services on Thursday the 17th of December and will be flying twice a week from Dubai. Staying with flydubai, and also Emirates have announced they will be recommencing services to Turkey. flydubai operating a daily service starting on Thursday the 17th of December. One-way fares will be starting at 1,040 dirhams. Emirates flying also daily, commencing a few days later on Monday the 21st of December. One-way fares for Emirates commencing or starting price at 1,400 dirhams. Travelling further afield from Dubai, Cebu Pacific, the low-cost carrier, recommencing services. It's their first long-haul flight, and they're recommencing services from Dubai to Manila with return fares at 1,158 dirhams, starting price. Looking at Seawings, a chance to have a look at the city of Dubai from another angle. They have a special residence offer at 499 dirhams for that special flight on the seaplane, taking off from the water at Jebel Ali and landing back on the water at Jebel Ali. Fabulous experience. And on to neighbouring Oman, and the Sultanate has announced they will be giving 10-day visa-free entry to visitors from over 100 countries in order to boost tourism. There are a few requirements, okay, so let's have a look at those. You must have a confirmed hotel reservation, you must have a return airline ticket and health insurance, so that's going to be a benefit to nationals from over 100 countries. They haven't announced which countries as yet, but do check out, keep updated by looking at the official site for this, which is the Royal Oman Police. And moving further afield to Australia and New Zealand, plans are well underway to have a travel bubble, a travel corridor between the two countries early next year. At the moment, Australians can travel to New Zealand, but they have a 14-day quarantine. And from October, New Zealanders or people from New Zealand can travel into Australia without that quarantine. But as of, early next year, they hope to have a travel bubble in place between New Zealand and Australia, meaning you will not have to quarantine. Now, our interview special this time is taking a look at the Seychelles with our man on the ground there, Ben Barker. He's the Managing Director of Extreme Destinations. So we'll be talking about various destinations, various extreme sports and activities, and adventure tourism, and a special look at what's happening in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. We start that next.
TravelWise. Aviation news flown in by Seawings Seaplane Tours. See Dubai as never before.
Well, on the show today, we're taking a look at the Seychelles. We're taking a look at adventure sport and extreme activities with Ben Barker, who's often in the UAE, but in lockdown in the Seychelles. I couldn't think of a worse place to be locked down in. But it's more than just that, isn't it, for you?
No, indeed. So yeah, normally I can be found. Well, I spend half my life on a plane in an airport or in a hotel travelling around. So I lead a very lucky life of living in the Seychelles, but doing a lot of business in and around the Middle East and around the rest of the world. So my wife is from the Seychelles. I spent probably close to 17, 18 years in Dubai on and off over two periods, and it was a case of do we move back to the UK, do we move to the Seychelles, or do we stay in Dubai? And the choice was very easy to move to the Seychelles.
Of course. Okay, we're going to be talking to you about quite a few things. Adventure sport for a start, looking at the Seychelles, and also your strong connections with the Dubai and the UAE. But I just want to say your backdrop looks absolutely amazing. Your view from your office there. Is that Silhouette Island in the distance or something like that, or where are you actually located?
Close to the backdrop of Anse Royale and the surrounding bay there. So we've got a lovely house just perched up on the hill overlooking the bay, and nice reef break, and the yachts coming in to moor, and no, very lucky.
Fantastic. Okay, let's stay with Seychelles. I've been there many Times. I've been lucky to go there and been there filming a few times. What is your situation for the Seychelles, which is such a popular destination for people from the UAE?
Yeah, the situation, I think, with the whole COVID situation, we've been extremely lucky in terms of not being affected too badly by the actual pandemic and the virus itself. I think to date we've got a recorded 183 cases, and 98% of those are actually people travelling in with it. So we extremely lucky. Haven't had any community spread or any disastrous effects of it. But the side effect, obviously, is Seychelles relies heavily on tourism.
Absolutely. And
as a result, the tourism industry here has just been hit really badly, obviously, with lack of tourists since April. Closed the borders down, but they reopened again in September with a trickle of tourists coming in. But it's not really our situation, it's the situation around the world which is affecting who can travel. It's just the confidence of people travelling in who, the possibility of them getting stuck in the Seychelles and not being able to return home might be nice for some people. But yeah, that's been the direct or the indirect effect of the situation.
Devastating the tourism industry, of course. Now, flights from Dubai are operating with Emirates, and Etihad have just announced they're going to start their service or recommence their services fairly soon, I think beginning of next year, so might bring a few more people for you. What about your side of things, though? I mean, adventure, sports, outdoor activities, probably zilch at the moment.
No, very well. Personally, it's a great opportunity to get out and do all of these experiences, and Seychelles offers a great platform to be able to get on the water and go hiking, and it's a fantastic country for adventure sports and above and below the water. So, very lucky on that. But I think globally, adventure and extreme sports hasn't really been affected too badly by the whole situation. I mean, actually, over the last 6 months, the sales of sports equipment has never been as high as it has been during this period, because people, obviously, during lockdown, they're desperate to get out. They're obviously not able to travel, but they can go and explore their surrounding areas. So they're out buying bikes and skateboards and all sorts of other equipment. So the actual the economy around the sale of items and equipment has never been better than before.
I heard about phenomenal sales of bikes and cycling equipment. That's had a real boost here in the UAE and also in the UK.
No, definitely. And I think, the whole situation with COVID has made people realise that they do need to keep fit, they do need to get active, and they want to get outdoors, they want to do the natural experiences, and they don't want to be stuck in a gym. I mean, if they're able to, they still get to the gym and do whatever they can to get fit and maintain a physical and mental positive attitude.
Sure.
But more often than not, we're seeing people wanting to get out into the parks, into the countryside, out onto the water, and actually breathe the fresh air and do the natural things. And that's something which we're really advocating and pushing and driving forward ourselves as a company.
So, from the perspective of Seychelles, if people fancy going there for a break at Christmas and New Year and get a bit of activity on board at the same time, you're open to that, which is good news. We'll take a little break now, come back in a moment, and take a look at your heritage in the UAE and how you moved from travel and tourism with Donata to setting up a water adventure park in Al Ain. We'll do that in a moment.
TravelWise with Phil Blizzard. News, views and interviews.
Well, my special guest today is Ben. We're talking about extreme sports. We've been talking about the Seychelles, wonderful destination there. And Ben, you've had a long heritage with travel and tourism. You worked with Donata for a while in Dubai and then went off onto the adventure route. And you went over, well, I recall you were involved with the opening of a pioneering water park in Al Ain. What was that all about?
Yeah, definitely. That was some years ago, and it was basically Wadi Adventure, the world's first surf and whitewater facility. The world's first desert-based whitewater and surf facility out in LA. So I was involved, not with the current company, but I was involved in the development of that facility and then the operation for that. And it was an incredible experience. The facility was really pioneering at the time. Obviously, the technology around surfboards has evolved considerably. But it was incredible, it's an incredible experience, and to bring elite athletes and sportsmen around the surfing and the whitewater kayaking world into the middle of the desert to actually try out the facilities
sure.
and what we had there, and then actually end up using it as a winter training base as well, was just incredible. So no, it was a brilliant experience. But as I said, the technology's gone on quite considerably.
Right.
There's some pretty amazing stuff technology out there today.
But it was pioneering at the time, wasn't it? And we look at the UAE now for adventure sport, adventure activities. I mean, I'm based in Ras Al Khaimah, and just look at what they've achieved with what they're doing up at Jebel Jay. So leaps and bounds, really moved on a lot in the UAE.
No, definitely, and I think it was great to be part of that. As you correctly said, I was started off my life in the travel industry with Donata, and just pre to that, I was running a diving lodge off the coast of Zanzibar.
Oh wow!
For a couple of years, and then into the travel industry in the UAE, and then moved into the development industry of these indoor and outdoor adventure parks. And adventure and extreme sports has always been part of my life from a pretty young age. But no, it's amazing to be part of the evolution of adventure sports within the country.
Now, I've got to ask you talk about adventure sport at a young age. I chose my education in a location where there was a lot of caves and pot owning, so I went to Staffordshire, close to Derbyshire. You were where? You were Hallam University, were you? Was that a choice for to enable you to do adventure sport?
Sheffield Hallam University. I know the hills, the Derbyshire hills, and the countryside, and I probably went down those same potholes as you did.
Indeed. Okay. So we're talking about development of adventure sport in the UAE. From your knowledge and development expertise, there's quite a lot to offer in the UAE, isn't there? I mean, Hatta is developing, and they've got walks like black walks, green walks, yellow walks, white walks, sort of depending on the nature of the terrain. So that's quite an interesting development in the Hatta region. Yeah,
no, absolutely. I mean, you correctly said where you are in Ras Al Khaimah. You've got the mountains and the coastline there, and Ras Al Khaimah is really driving adventure tourism and becoming the adventure capital of the UAE, and indeed trying to make that statement for the whole of the Middle East as well. And it's all about the natural terrain and the natural assets which you have in the country, and is maximising those. And we know there's a massive drive for them to establish themselves as the adventure capital of the UAE and indeed the Middle East. And it's really just giving people the opportunity to be able to access these locations and the terrain, whether it's hiking or biking or camping out in the desert or whatever it may be, which they can do by themselves if they've got the equipment themselves to be able to do it. But then it's also giving them those who haven't got the equipment, giving them the opportunity to be able to go on a guided experience and with experts and professionals, and actually do it with people who know what they're talking about. And obviously with Ras Al Khaimah, you've got the zip line and all the other adventure experiences which are taking place up at the top of the hill, and indeed down in the wadis below as well. Indeed, and also the latest addition being Bear Grylls and his mounting and survival camp setup. Right, we're going to move from Ras Al Khaimah to Saudi Arabia in a moment. We're going to take a break, come back with you, and talk about your current organisation, Extreme Destinations, part of the Extreme Group. So we'll find out more about that in a moment, Ben.
TravelWise with Phil Blizzard. News, views and interviews.
Right, we're talking adventure sport, extreme sport and outdoor activities in general with Ben, who's MD of Extreme Destinations. So tell us about the current organisation. You've been with them for quite some time, and I know you've done a lot of work in Saudi Arabia. We were talking earlier on in the year about that. So give us an overview of Extreme. Yeah, so Extreme is a fantastic company. It's been around for 25 years. It's got a long heritage and history of obviously extreme sports. Yeah, so Extreme is a fantastic company. It's been around for 25 years. It was set up by Alistair Gosling, who's the current CEO as well. He's heavily involved in the company.
25 years ago, set up as a TV channel, broadcast across, I think it was 60 nations and 20 or 200 million homes. I can't remember the exact figure, but it really put a stamp in the on the extreme sports scene. Now it's really revolves around three distinct areas of the business. We've got media and marketing, so looking at the social media pages and showing video content, working with specific brands to develop our certain content and marketing material for them. We have Extreme Events, which is headed up by James Cook-Priest, who is ex-Top Gear Live and Fast and Furious Live. He's based pretty much over in Saudi Arabia. And then we've got Extreme Destinations, which is, as you mentioned, headed up by myself. And within Extreme Destinations, we have three areas of focus. One is developing our indoor and outdoor adventure parks. Then the second one is developing out Extreme Collections, which is an adventure-based accommodation concept, which is basically created as a result of COVID. We had this idea for a long time, but because of COVID, we realised that there's a definite need of people wanting to get away from the big concrete blocks and getting out into nature and experiencing the sports and activities which the natural terrain can offer.
So regarding
very sustainable.
Yeah, regarding collections, I mean, a bit of an acceleration because of COVID-19 for those obvious reasons which you mentioned. So in what sort of destinations could we expect to find an extreme collection setup?
Yeah, it's a great question. Pretty much anywhere where there's a wow type scenery. So it could be anywhere from mountainscapes to islands and beaches to the deserts and anything and everything in between. It's generally in locations where it's not impossible to get to, but it's a bit of an adventure, a bit of travel to get to that destination, and the journey to get there is part of the adventure itself.
Of course, yeah. That sounds a fabulous concept, and as you say, people want to go to places which are smaller, not large concrete blocks, and enjoy what's available when it comes to the natural assets and get out there and explore and enjoy them. So that's one aspect. Saudi Arabia, let's come on to Saudi Arabia, because that's going to be, it is indeed developing very quickly with a huge number of opportunities and range of extreme activities. So you've been there quite a few times. Which are the key areas you've been visiting and see potential?
Yeah, I think, listen, Saudi Arabia is the most incredible country. I mean, I've been in the Middle East for on and off pretty much half my life.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those countries which has everything to offer. It's got the most incredible desert landscapes. It's got 3,000 meter high mountains. It's got the Red Sea coastline, completely untouched, completely undiscovered. So just from that general sense, the raw natural adventure it has to offer is just remarkable. Then you couple that with all the other elements around it, which are completely unknown to the vast majority of the world in terms of the history and the culture, the people, the friendliness and the welcomeness of the people themselves, and the food and the gastronomy experiences. The whole package is just incredible. And we've been involved in the country for probably the last 4 years. Alistair's on the advisory board of Qadir, one of the key projects just outside of Riyadh. And that's open, and his position there has really opened up a plethora of opportunities for us and access to ministers and government officials, and it's incredible and a privilege to actually be part of the growth and the development of the country.
It's very exciting, isn't it? And I must think there must be, for you, a large amount of frustration. You've got a lot of projects which you are working on under development, and you can't actually get to the sites, the locations, to see what is happening on the ground.
Yeah, I think there is an element of frustration, but I think the world has adapted to remote working, and that. I mean, just as a side, that's something which, we as a company have been doing way before COVID. We have people located in the UK. We've actually got people in Saudi right now, as it is already. We've got people all over the world, and we all work remotely. And it's not too much of a challenge, but seeing what's going on within the country and the fast forward thinking and the mindset of the Saudis and everybody within the country trying to develop it. They haven't put the brakes on during this period at all. So they're fast tracking everything. They're fast tracking the initiatives and the strategies, and they're certainly not slowing down. And they've got this the Vision 2030 is still very much on their horizon, and they're doing everything to make sure that they achieve their own internal goals.
So still full steam ahead in Saudi Arabia. That's good to know.
TravelWise with Phil Blizzard. News, views and interviews.
And to sort of, in some ways, finish off, how do you see events evolving in terms of the event themselves and audience involvement?
Yeah, I think that's a really tricky one. Events isn't my forte, but I think there's really going to be a hybrid of virtual and physical participation. Certainly on with conferences and the business side of things, we've had a number of conversations where with individuals and companies where it's how do you turn a conference into a virtual conference? But, start giving people the opportunity to travel or experience what they're missing out on, certainly within unique locations around the world. And I think when it comes to the physical events and the sports events, those are still going to take place. But it's really just in terms of, the participation elements we're seeing around the world, with the mainstream sports, rugby, cricket, football, they're still going on. But it's just how do you start integrating the spectators into those events?
Absolutely.
As well.
So moving from events, which as you say is not really your forte, to your forte and extreme destinations, what are you most excited about at the moment? What are you expecting to sort of get or go to first of all next year?
I mentioned earlier on, the rest of the world are catching up with the COVID situation and wanting to get out and about and experience nature in its raw elements and natural terrain. So I'm really excited about being able to develop the concepts and strategies which we have and make sure that they're in line with all the stakeholders. So the developers and the investors, they want to develop these destinations which have a high return on investment. They're commercially viable, but then at the same time being able to provide something for the market and making sure that we're hitting the demand requirements as well. And those demand requirements are, getting out and about, getting active, doing physically and mentally challenging experiences with family, with their friends, as groups. So whether that's developing our indoor and outdoor destinations or hotels, it's ticking all the boxes for us. It's really exciting time.
Absolutely exciting times. Even though we got a light at the end of the tunnel now with the vaccine development. So exciting times ahead.
No, you need to have that positive attitude as well. And this isn't going to last forever. And I think. We're here. We've been supporting other individuals and businesses where things may be where they may be struggling mentally and with that long-term outlook. And you have to be positive about it, or else you're just going to go around in a never-ending circle of doom and gloom.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's been great catching up with you, and very, very positive about things. So, what are you doing this afternoon? You're going to get out on the waves there and or go under the water, a bit of diving or something?
No, I wish I could, but I'm on the virtual conferences all day.
All day. All right.
TravelWise with Phil Blizzard. News, views and interviews.
Talking there with Ben Barker, who's the Managing Director of Extreme Destinations, and congratulations to them on their 20th anniversary. I'm Phil Blizzard in Dubai with TravelWise. If you'd like to sponsor the programme or part of the programme, do get in touch with us. The following email address is coming up.
TravelWise with Phil Blizzard. News, views and interviews.
Right, we'll have updates of the travel situation across the region on my weekly travel show on Capital Radio, Saturday afternoons, Capital Radio UAE, Saturday afternoons between 2 and 5. It's called Wish You Were Here, and you can join me from anywhere in the world online with www.capitalradiouae.com. And if you would like to have a podcast production for your organisation, do get in touch with me. Drop me an email, philblizzardmedia@gmail.com.
A Phil Blizzard radio production. TravelWise. Aviation news flown in by Seawings Seaplane Tours. See Dubai as never before.